Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I'm so glad you're here. Look, today we're tackling something that touches pretty much all of our lives, but honestly, it can feel super overwhelming. We're talking about managing our weight. Now, instead of falling down some internet rabbit hole of crazy, conflicting advice, we are going straight to the source, the official NHS guidelines for sustainable weight loss. No miserable cabbage soup diets here, I promise. We're going to break this down into bite-sized, actionable pieces that actually fit into your real life. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into this explainer with what is probably the single most important message you're going to hear today. The NHS explicitly says this: you do not have to do everything at once, try one thing at a time and find what works for you. I literally love starting here because it takes the pressure off, right? It's so normal to think you have to totally upend your life on day one, but the actual medical guidance says, please don't do that. This whole journey, it's about manageable, realistic steps. It's about finding a groove that works for you, not cramming yourself into some rigid, miserable box. So here's our roadmap for today. First up, finding your healthy baseline. Then we'll look at some healthy habits to start building. After that, common pitfalls to avoid. And finally, building your support system. Easy peasy. All right, section 1, finding your healthy baseline, starting the journey. Before we change anything, we really need to figure out our why. If you're currently carrying some extra weight, the NHS points out some absolutely massive benefits to dropping it. And honestly, it's not just about a number on a scale. It translates into real, tangible stuff, like actually having the energy to keep up with your kids, or just getting through the 3 p.m. slump without needing a nap. Plus, it's a huge preventative measure. It significantly drops your risk of obesity-related conditions, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Keeping those core, health-backed benefits front and center, that's what's going to anchor you when things get tough. But okay, how do you even know if you need to lose weight in the first place? Well, the NHS recommends starting with the body mass index, or BMI. Basically, it's a super practical tool that calculates if you're at a healthy weight for your specific height. It's a great foundational baseline to figure out where your starting line actually is. You literally just take your height and your weight, plug them right into the NHS BMI calculator online, and boom, you've got a fact-based starting point. It totally takes the guesswork out of the equation. Moving right along to section 2, healthy habits to start, adding positive momentum. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this specific number, 150. The NHS recommends getting active for 150 minutes a week. Now, I know hearing 150 minutes all at once sounds kind of daunting, but here's the brilliant part. You can chop that up into really short, super manageable sessions. We're talking just over 20 minutes a day. A brisk walk to the shops, some intense gardening, chasing the dog around, it all counts. The whole point is just to get your body moving. Okay, here's another crucial number for you, 5. We've all heard the 5-a-day rule, right? But let's actually demystify what that means. One portion is roughly 80 grams, and listen to this because it's the best part. You absolutely do not need to become some fancy farmer's market regular to hit this. The NHS makes it super clear that fresh, canned, or frozen fruits and veggies all count exactly the same. So tossing a handful of frozen berries into your oatmeal, completely valid. Cracking open a can of sweet corn with dinner also counts. It is incredibly easy to hit that target once you know the rules. Now, as we start stacking these new habits, we really need to talk about expectations. The goal here is steady progress, aiming to lose 1 to 2 pounds, which is roughly half a kilo to a kilo per week. I really want to emphasize this because we live in a world that constantly pushes instant gratification and quick fixes. But let me tell you, this slow and steady pace, it's the absolute medical gold standard for safe, sustainable weight loss. Anchoring your brain to this realistic metric is going to stop you from getting discouraged, and more importantly, it actually helps ensure the weight stays off for good. Want to know a built-in life hack for the supermarket aisles? It's the traffic light system on food labels. It's like having a cheat code for grocery shopping. When you're standing there trying to decide between products, just scan the front of the packaging and look for the colors. You want to choose items that have way more green coating rather than amber or red. Green literally just means it's lower in fat, saturated fat, sugar, and salt. It's an incredibly straightforward visual trick to make healthier choices without overthinking the whole shebang. And speaking of food choices, let's reframe how we think about dieting. Instead of focusing on strict deprivation, think about making smart upgrades, or what we call swaps. The NHS recommends cutting down on high sugar and high fat foods just by trading them out. Like swap your sugary morning cereal for a really satisfying whole grain option, or trade those sugary fizzy drinks for a glass of water. And hey, if plain water is just too boring for you, which fair enough, the guidance suggests throwing in some slices of fresh lemon or lime to jazz it up.
You aren't losing out on anything. You're just making a smarter, tastier swap for your body.
Okay, the final healthy habit to add to your toolkit is actually a social one. Share your weight loss plan with someone you trust. Why? Because let's be real, human motivation is a roller coaster. You're going to have days where you feel totally unstoppable, and you're going to have days where you literally just want to throw in the towel. Having a trusted confidant, maybe a partner, a best friend, a sibling, gives you an external anchor. They can gently remind you of your why and give you that crucial pep talk when you're going through a rough patch.
Moving right into section 3, common pitfalls to avoid, gentle corrections.
So we covered the do's, now let's talk about the don'ts. But we're doing this with zero judgment, okay? These are just common human behaviors we want to gently course correct. First up, don't try to drop weight suddenly with crash diets. They're just not sustainable in the long run. Second, don't stock up on unhealthy food. I mean, if the cookies aren't in the cupboard at midnight, you can't eat them, right? Try keeping stuff like popcorn, fruit, or rice cakes on hand instead. Third, don't skip meals. It feels like a quick shortcut, but the NHS warns that you'll probably just end up snacking twice as much later because you're starving. And lastly, don't force yourself to finish your plate if you're already full. I know if you grew up in the clean plate club, this is a really tough habit to break. But honestly, it is completely fine to pack up those leftovers for tomorrow's lunch.
All right, final stretch. Section 4, building your support system, expanding your toolkit.
I absolutely love this part because the NHS actually gives us a fantastic roadmap of free digital tools to use. Step 1. You can download their free 12-week weight loss plan app to help structure your progress week by week. Step 2. Getting bored of eating the same things? You can access well over 100 healthy, family-friendly recipes right on their website. Step 3. If you're feeling a bit lost on the exercise front, try the free NHS workout videos. They've got everything from instructor-led dance routines to yoga, and you can do them right in your living room. And finally, step 4. If you're sitting there thinking, I have no idea where to even start, just go take their Healthy Choices quiz online. It gives you personalized advice tailored specifically to your lifestyle. So, the crucial point is this. Professional help is way more accessible than you might think. If you feel like you need some formal, structured support to manage your weight, you actually might be able to refer yourself directly to local weight management services. You don't even have to wait around to get a formal appointment with a GP. You can just ask your GP surgery's reception staff, check their website, reach out to your local integrated care board, or simply do a quick online search for NHS weight management services in your area. You are totally empowered to take that step yourself. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground today exploring how the NHS breaks down sustainable weight loss. But let's loop right back to where we started. You do not have to do everything at once, small steps. So I want to leave you with one single provocative question to think about. Which one small change will you make today? Seriously, are you going to swap out that afternoon soda for a glass of water with lemon? Are you going to squeeze in a 10-minute walk after dinner? The power is literally in your hands to start building that positive momentum right this second. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. You've got this, and I'll catch you next time.